My first question to you is what was your initial reaction when you found out Joe Kim was writing this part with you in mind?
Do I have to audition or can I just kind of do it? And then the answer was I did have to audition, which was fine. But I was obviously very flattered. I mean, everyone knows him as like a really funny and hilarious stand-up comedian, but I don't think that everyone is familiar with the fact that he is a very thoughtful and intuitive writer. And I mean, he's also very observant, and he really cares about these gay havens and these gay spaces, because I think that for him, they've really been a safe spot for him and a fun spot for him. And so I knew that if he was going to dive into this world, that it would be great. And so when I saw the script in actually all of its iterations, I thought it was excellent every time. And I really felt like if anyone else were going to play Luke, I would be, to be frank with you, pissed off. So I was really touched and grateful that he thought of me for this role, and I began to see myself in it, which is good and bad, because she's a little bit of a hot, full, thirsty mess. But I just tried to fill in as much color as I could, and by the time we got to set, I feel like I really knew him, was protective of him, and ready to have fun with him. So, yeah.
This is your feature film debut, and did you kind of well, first off, what did you kind of prepare for that, and did you kind of lean on some of the other actors on set to help you throughout this process?
Definitely. I think I live under a lucky star because it is my feature film debut and I get to do it with Bowen Yang, who's pretty much the other half of my heart. He's my best friend on this planet. And Joel Kim, who's probably a close second. Sorry, girl. Someone's got to be the runner-up. Yeah, I mean, those are very, very dear people to me. And so whenever it got to be a long day or a frustrating day because the weather was not it, or I was particularly challenged by something, they were there for me and I was there for them. And it's like that with the rest of the cast as well. We really all did quickly become a family, and I think that if I'm most proud of one thing, it's the fact that I think that reads when you watch the movie. I think you can see a real kinship and a real love and a camaraderie and a real joy that I think is crucial to the success of the movie, and it is successful. So I think we nailed it. I actually remember one time I was having a really tough day because we were going to do the scene where Luke is in the OnlyFans video, and I had never done anything like that. I had never been, that nude on camera. I'd never done a sex scene before. It's my first time working with an intimacy coordinator, and it was the first time I was really going to actually act challenging material, because I really come from comedy and I come from, just being a clown sort of, and I knew I was capable of this, but it's when the moment comes and the day comes, like you go through stuff. And it's a lot of complicated conversations that you have with others and with yourself when you're doing a complicated scene about consent and about that's that vulnerable. And Joel Kim was there for me. I remember he literally was physically and emotionally there for me. So I'll never forget that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I find very fascinating, because obviously you're right. When you watch the film, you feel the camaraderie, not just in front of the camera, but behind the camera, because that's what makes the story work so well. And there's a lot of that vulnerability with that character of Luke. You touched on a little bit, but that surely intimidated you a lot. And what kind of what did you do to kind of prepare to not be as intimidated? Obviously having the help around you, but within your own space.
That's a really good question. I think that for me, I'm a big person like that acts as if. And so actually the character Luke is a lot more confident than I am in real life. Like I consider myself to be a confident person, but I don't think I'd wear that singlet he wears to tea. I don't know if I'd go into a house with all those like 10 out of 10 gays and barge up the stairs saying I'm going to order Domino's. I don't know that is me. So I think that honestly, I just used his confidence and his joie de vivre as like a suit of armor. And I think also, knowing that my best friends were there also doing challenging material helped me put things into perspective. For example, Bowen had to really go to the depths to prepare for his role in this film. And so ultimately, being there for him, and I think being there for all my friends and my new friends, was in turn helping me feel comfortable and helping me feel supported. And of course, as always, you have a great crew. And we had an amazing crew who was very respectful and supportive, and they laughed a lot. And, even behind masks, you could tell they were smiling and having a great time. And there was a real sense of community, because I think we all knew the project was special and that we were all exposing parts of ourselves, literally and figuratively. That was a cushion. I'm a big person like that acts as if. And so actually the character Luke is a lot more confident than I am in real life. Like, I consider myself to be a confident person, but I don't think I'd wear that singlet he wears to tea. I don't know if I'd go into a house with all those like 10 out of 10 gays and, barge up the stairs saying I'm going to order Domino's. I don't know that that is me. So I think that honestly, I just used his confidence and his joie de vivre as like a suit of armor. And I think also, knowing that my best friends were there also doing challenging material helped me put things into perspective. For example, Bowen had to really go to the depths to prepare for his role in this film. And so ultimately being there for him, and I think being there for all my friends and my new friends, was in turn helping me feel comfortable and helping me feel supported. And of course, as always, you have a great crew. And we had an amazing crew who was very respectful and supportive, and they laughed a lot. And, even behind masks, you could tell they were smiling and having a great time. And there was a real sense of community, because I think we all knew the project was special and that we were all exposing parts of ourselves, literally and figuratively. That was a cushion.
Yeah. My follow-up to that is this film to me is, I'm sure, is very important to reflect on, and it's going to be very important for this community. How important do you think this film will be? Let's just say 5 years from now, looking back on this film, do you think and hope that we see a lot more change in this space because of it?
I always hope that there's change. You know what I mean? I feel like every year we see more of these. You know what I mean? Right now, I can count like 5 projects that have come out this year. Fire Island, Bros will be coming out, Queer as Folk. I always want to give a shout out to one of my dearest, closest people in my life is named Jared Frieder. He wrote and directed a film called 3 Months, starring Troye Sivan. That came out on Paramount Plus, which is a very moving and funny and tender queer film that came out. I mean, Keenan Lonsdale has a film coming out. The L Word continues to be a fantastic show. So they're out there, and I really feel like, it takes one to have 3, to have 5. So I think that, maybe Love, Simon was not everyone's cup of tea a couple of years ago, but I don't know if Fire Island exists without Love, Simon. I literally don't think Fire Island exists without Happiest Season. So we need this visibility. We need more queer talent to be in these films so that they become bankable, so that studios want to attach to them. Bowen Yang is now a big name, and his lead role in this film allows us all to be seen. And now maybe you'll see us all get our own projects. Joel Kim Booster is going to be a star from this. So it's exciting, and also very excited for Andrew Ahn to see what he's going to do. I actually know a big major thing that he's going to do next, and it's so exciting. So this all begets more. I mean, it's about visibility, and you say it enough that it feels like it loses its meaning, but representation truly matters, and not just in sheer visibility, like young people can see it and so they can be it. Literally, the way this industry works is you need the consumers to become familiar with this talent so that they will buy a ticket or stream a project that they're in.
My final question to you is what is something that you learned about yourself while playing in the role of Luke?
Wow. Why is that emotional for me? I think that maybe one thing I learned about myself is that I'm actually capable of doing the thing I always wanted to do. Um, it's so interesting because even though I do think of myself as a talented person and I do think of myself as a hardworking person, like throughout my entire 20s, I had to create my own opportunities. And I don't always think of myself in these challenging types of roles and situations just because it's never asked of me. I used to say when I was in college and starting out in this industry, I said, it would be my dream, my number one dream, to have a supporting role on a comedy series where I could come in and get laughs. And now I have that on the Showtime series. I Love That for You. And I'm in this film and I'm 32 and I feel like I now have so many more goals and aspirations. So it's like when you get a role like this and you get an opportunity like this and you get surrounded by love and talent like this, you find out what you're capable of and what you're made of. And that I guess that the thing I learned about myself is that I made myself proud.